Hi y'all, this is Kev Grits back for segment 2 of the teapot lid hats. As you can see, we have the pink one and the green one here, so you can see what they look like. Okay, now we are using Vogue pattern 8052 and we're doing hat number C. And out of this pattern we need 2 pieces for creating the foundation, number 9 and number 10. Okay, you cut them out and then you measure around piece number 9 because it is the guide for your wire as well as the piece for cutting out the shape of the buckram for the final foundation. After you've done your measurement, which this is 17 inches, you get your 18 gauge wire and a joiner, and you measure with measuring tape. You're out your 18 inches. Now I cheated for sake of time and I went ahead and I measured my piece of wire out. Okay, then you're going to take it around the guide with the jewelry pliers like so, and you make a kink right here in the front like this, and then very gently shape it on around there. And then you'll have the joiner. Now when you measure your wire, you also measure your bias tape. Then you take the tape, fold it over, and make a seam right close to the edge. And this makes a pocket so that it is much easier to attach it to the buckram. So after it's cut, you just slide it on like so. Let me get it to work around that little kink there. And then you take your joiner and you put the joiner on one side, and then you attach it on the other side, and you put your 2 pieces together, and voila, you have your covered piece of wire. Now, the buckram is lightweight buckram, and buckram has been used for centuries for hat making. It comes lightweight, medium weight, and heavyweight, and what we're using is the lightweight white. So you take piece number 10 and you pin it in place, and then use everybody's favorite tool, scissors, and you cut it out. Okay? Now, to save time, I've already cut one out. Piece number 10, all cut out. This is where the dressmaker ham comes in, because the top of the ham is got the curve to it like a human head has. So, you take your buckram and you just smooth it over. And you smooth it down, and you kind of slide it over the edge a little bit here and kind of work it around, rotate it, and bend it down. And that makes a nice little bow there. And after you get that done, here comes piece number 9 again. With piece number 9, you put it in the center of the buckram and pin it. You can pin it in 2 places if you like, or do it in 4. It's up to you on how confident you are. Now, once you got it pinned in place, it's time to cut it out. Okay, I've got my piece cut out. And the other thing that I do that I find helps for making things move along faster once I've made one piece is I take a pen and I write down how many inches of wire that I'm going to need and what gauge I'm going to need for when I do this project another time. So, let's unpin from here. Now, the other thing we're going to do real quick is we're going to take our 2 cranberry pieces, lay them out, and we're going to put the pieces of fabric in the middle. Make sure you're going with the grain. Now, once you have your material, 2 pieces of your material pinned to piece number 9, it's time to cut out the body, the covering for the body. Now, what I do, because the buckram has a slight bow in it, is to cut out about 1 inch to 1.5 inches on the outside of this guide. That gives you room for seaming and for the bent shape of the buckram. And here comes Mr. Spike. He is going to supervise. So, I'm going to cut this out. And I hope I don't get any kitty tail in here. Alright, the next phase is to have your covered wire and your buckram. The bowed side is at the top. The wire goes to the bottom. Okay. Needle and thread, double thread with the knot. So the next thing that happens is we are going to start sewing this on. Just a simple in and out basic stitch because the buckram is pretty tough. Alright, once you've done the running stitch, basic running stitch around the edge to attach the sleeve with the wire to the buckram, a nice thing to do, but you don't have to, is to do a whip stitch around the edge. And you come in from the underside where the sleeve is with the wire, and you're going around the through the buckram and bringing it back around, and you just keep going, and that holds the edges of the buckram down against the wire, and it makes a nice smooth finished edge. Now, I'll bring that up close, you can see it makes it much nicer. And it doesn't have to be super pretty and perfect because it's going to get covered with the fabric. So, I'm going to finish this up. But before I do, the next segment is going to be making the seam in the cranberry fabric on the sewing machine, creating a little pocket to slip in the buckram form, adding the comb to it, and getting goofy with trimming. So y'all come back and we'll get into more mischief, and it will be whooping fun.